Clear. Go.
It's Mecha.
It's Dino.
What's going on, guys? So this is after E3.
Cyber after E.
That's right. Cyberpunk 2077.
2077. I don't know their theme music, so I'm just going to scream.
I don't think there is one. Is there one?
I don't think so. Cyberpunk.
So what did you learn
enigma.
about the release date, man?
It's freaking dope. Okay. After E3, people went ape shit for Keanu Reeves.
And
perfect timing.
I mean, I cannot believe they put Keanu in there.
I don't think Keanu knew what he got into.
No, I think he knew. Bro, he's a guy who did. He likes these movies.
He liked the story that he said, but like he straight up like didn't realize what he jumped in on. It pretty much would be like, hey, you know that John Wick you just did? He goes, yeah. I'm like, this is bigger.
You think how long ago do you think they put him in the game?
After his first John Wick.
So that's a
was a long time ago.
Quite a bit long ago.
Yeah, I think they've planned on doing this a long time. He just didn't realize. Like Keanu Reeves is a very genuine person where he's humble. So he's not gonna brag about what he does. There's thousands of examples. There's Keanu Reeves.
But
being
humbleness
awesome
doesn't
Reddit.
mean you're ignorant to something.
He's smart.
So then you wouldn't think he would know what he got himself. I think he picked the game.
I think he knew it was a big deal, but he didn't think it was like. It's one of those things like you think it's good, but you don't want to think it's like you're part of a huge thing.
Right.
It wasn't until he went on stage and he's like, "All right, this is bigger than I thought."
You're breathtaking.
Yeah, that's the best.
You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
I love
his
Keanu,
jump
man.
back was best. I'm like, he didn't see that coming. But the release date.
He did say that CD Projekt Red approached him.
Yes,
he did say that. So that's kind of true.
Was a smart move. For April 16th, 2020.
April
Cyberpunk
16th, 2020. That's
2077. I have to pause a little for that because those of you that don't know, Cyberpunk originally was Cyberpunk 2020.
So
it's coming out.
It just happens to be. Do you think they might have had it ready for 2019?
I think they knew they were coming out. And I think when they first announced this game in 2013, they're like, we got to wait.
I think they had it ready. I think they had it ready for 2019.
And then the guy's like, wait. Let's go extreme meta. What do you mean? Let's release this in 7 years. What? Think about it. Cyberpunk 2020.
Do we have the funds though?
What? Do we have the funds for it?
Remember Witcher 3?
They'll be like, kickstart it. You're good. But no, it's super meta that they're releasing.
I mean, I didn't laugh at your joke because I was drinking water, but it was funny.
Yeah.
Because at the time, that's true though. Everything was being kickstarted.
Everything Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And then if that didn't work, go fund me.
Go what you?
Go fund me.
Oh, okay.
Go fund me. But I think that's if you're like dying. But yeah, so we got Keanu Reeves. Great. We got a release date that's super meta, just for the year. I don't think the first 2 days matter. But
that's what I'm kind of asking you. Like, do you think that maybe they if they had to release it this year, they could have, but they only pushed it to April because they knew it was meta?
I think so.
Because they could have done fall. They could have done fall. They weren't ready.
They did probably finish it. The game went gold last year, most likely.
Yeah,
and they're like, we're so close. Might as well wait.
Might as well do wait. Yeah.
And then at that time, someone was like, hey, Keanu Reeves is working on that second John Wick. That's doing pretty good.
Wait a minute. No, you said the first John Wick.
I know, but I'm changing it to the second.
John Wick 2?
Yeah, that's when they're like, well, the first one did good.
I'm curious as to when he was approached because the guy, let's talk about his character in the game first. There was a demo at E3 for Cyberpunk.
Those lucky bastards.
What's up?
Those lucky bastards.
Yeah, well, the demo opened up with Keanu Reeves' character, which his name is Johnny Silverland, who appears to be like a virtual ghost, visible only to the player.
So you're losing your mind.
I mean, in the demo,
right
he
now.
convinced the player to find his girlfriend.
His girlfriend or Keanu's girlfriend?
Yeah, and then basically he's gonna be like it seems like he might be like your Cortana. So like where he coming.
I didn't know I wanted something so bad until you just said that.
Right, like it's like your Cortana
Can
and it's
you-
Keanu in your ear.
Let's move, samurai. Yes, Keanu.
And in the actual demo, it's his girlfriend is Alt Cunningham, and she's the next piece of the puzzle for linking up with the woman known as Brigitte, and she's a leader with the Voodoo Boys, which was actually a canonical faction from the tabletop RPG.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the tabletop Cyberpunk, but I believe they're taking a lot of it from that, and which makes it interesting because like I don't know what Cyberpunk's gonna be about. But hearing that, like maybe I was thinking when you were saying that only you can see Keanu, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's like a bad modification. Like, what if the modifications they're still connected to a soul?
I mean, why not?
Why not?
don't know
Right? It
why.
could be.
It
It'd be
could have been
interesting.
because I mean, there could also be secondhand black market modifications.
Exactly. You remember that movie Eyes?
No.
Or I think it's Jessica Biel. No, Jessica Alba. One of the Jessicas.
Well, you would know which one it is.
I think Alba.
Is it the one in Fantastic Four?
Yeah,
Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
She, or maybe it's Jennifer Lopez. Anyway,
What are you talking
she
about?
gets
How did you get all these
surgery-
mixed up?
She gets surgery to get her vision back. It's an old movie. She gets her vision back, but they belong to like a hobo who was cursed. So then when she gets her vision, she sees the ghost that the hobo guy was seeing. So she's cursed now because she got his organs.
I think I saw this movie.
Yeah, it was a weird premise. It was like early 2000s. But that's what popped in my head when you were saying that. I'm like, ooh, that'd be interesting. Like, because there was that mission from last year where you put on the body modification. So I was like, who knows? Maybe we'll get all spiritual with this shit.
Talking about spiritual. So the Voodoo Boys actually differ a little bit from the 2020 tabletop RPG. So they were first announced in 1988. The Voodoo Boys were a violent French group described as a terrorist gang with ritual magic overtones, mostly comprised of white people with a Caribbean inspired effect. And years later, CD Projekt is doing them as a Haitian spiritualist whose unique form of worship involves hacking and trips through cyberspace. So,
They did show cyberspace.
dude.
Oh, that's what that was? That was cyberspace? That
Dude,
looked like...
there's so much. There's
Oh,
so much
shit.
happening in this game, bro. So there's still criminals in this
We're
game.
going to enter the Matrix. This is Neo.
This is what if Cyberpunk is actually
The Matrix, the first
a
Neo.
Matrix
The first Neo from
A
the Matrix
city-
Reloaded.
a city in the Matrix.
I personally see that 4/16/2020 flashing in my head.
I can't because of all the digital.
Yeah, and it's all that's why I question. I'm like, or was it 18?
I don't know. 16 sounds about right.
I
though.
laugh at the end. We're like, oh, it actually comes out 4/17.
I'm sorry, guys.
Whatever it comes out, expect it next year.
Do you think this is coming? It sounded like you were ending this, but I still have
kinda
one more
was.
thing to say. What do you think this is coming out for both?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it
It's
has to be
CD
because
Projekt
it's
Red.
coming out in April.
CD Projekt Red is about making the game come out and be playable on everything,
Yeah.
even the Switch.
No way.
I don't think they're gonna do it. Switch.
All right, there is one thing that I did want to discuss with you, and I'm basically just kind of neutral about it.
Okay.
But it's just something it's a controversy
All right, go.
with CD Projekt Red.
The developer of Cyberpunk.
Right.
Yes.
So within the game,
Okay.
they have an ad for a soft drink called Chromaticure, and it says like the little tagline, "A taste of 16 flavors you'd love to mix." And the copy encourages you to mix it up. So like the
drink?
the drink, like to mix it up.
Okay.
And on it is basically a trans model.
A real person?
Well, it's I don't know if they used a real person, but it looks like a trans model.
So what's the problem?
So the controversy is why is it in the game?
Oh.
Right. So okay, maybe some people want to ask that, right? But it's
Why?
actually interesting.
Why ask that question?
Huh?
Why ask that question?
Whoever asked it, this is a controversy. The girl or the trans person still has a penis. So the controversy is not necessarily why
Do you
it's in
see
there.
it? Do you have-
Yeah, here. I'll show you what it
I
looks
have
like.
no idea what
It's like it. There it is. You can kind of see it, kind of like tucked up.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a dick.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not. The question was asked from the artist who actually does the ads in the game, and it's a woman. Her name is, and let me pull it up here. Her name is Kasia Berezwik. I'm probably butchering that name.
Russian.
But she's one of the art directors, and she actually worked on Ghent, the Witcher card game, and Thronebreaker, the Witcher Tales. And she's basically responsible for all the in-fiction media and the environments of Cyberpunk.
Okay. So what was her response to this?
So she was asked, why was the trans model used in this particular advertisement? And she said, personally, for me, this person is sexy. That's what she answered.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a sexy person. I was like, that's a dick.
It's just an ad within the game, but she was asked, personally for me, this person is sexy, or she was asked why, and then she said that, and then she said, I like how the person looks. However, this model is used, their beautiful body is used for corporate reasons. They're displayed there as just a thing, and that's the terrible part about it. That's interesting about this world is that they have so many levels of modification or like how to display yourself and things like that. So this is what she said as well. She said that the world of Cyberpunk 2077 includes many people who are gender non-conforming, which you can kind of see in many of the people that are walking, right? And some who enjoy showing off their bodies in public. They are a demographic group with significant purchasing power, and so mega corporations use their likeness to sell soft drinks. It's supposed to be a play on the same sort of hypersexualized advertising that modern companies is used to sell products today, just brought in line with the kind of future CD Projekt wants to portray. She's like, in the year 2077 specifically, with how much body modifications are available, I think people just mix and match however they want, however they feel. That's what Redazuk said. And even society is more open to different kinds of relationship. That is not to say that the players should see this kind of advertising as good. Resident said that it was designed to feel jarring, overly aggressive, like all other ads in the game, but not because of the femme presenting trans model. So that's not the point. And the Cyberpunk is a dystopian future, where mega corporations dictate everything. And that's actually a direct quote from her as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, she actually. I'm surprised how much she talked about it.
This person, when was given this job, she put herself in Cyberpunk. I forgot what the town that they called it, the city that they're in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's in the last year's trailer they named it city. There's a name for it, and it sounds like she went in this world mentally and was like, in this world, what would be acceptable? What would be the norm? To us, that was jarring. You're like, but it's 2077 over there where they do this normally. That's probably the most censored thing that they could think of.
Yeah, and they actually have a really good article on Polygon about it, and you can kind of see. I mean, you get the idea. She was basically saying that this was not put in there as like it wasn't made to look at like, oh, like I'm putting this in there. They were trying to tell an underlying story to give background to the world, kind of like a DNA to the world that Cyberpunk is set in.
I'm not gonna lie.
She actually says herself, I think that sexy bodies are sexy. Full disclosure, I love female bodies, I love male bodies, I love bodies in between. This is who I am. However, I hate it when it's used commercially, and that is exactly what we want to show you by doing this, exactly by showing you how big corporations use bodies against them.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, the more real this world is, the more alive it's going to feel, and the more I can get immersed in it. I'm not saying this is just one little detail, which, well, like if I were to have seen that in the game, I would have been like, what the heck kind of world is this, man?
Exactly, and that's what I was gonna say.
That's
I want to look at Cyberpunk 2077, and I want to sit there and go, I'm in 2077. Like, I can't recognize any of this. Like, I kind of can, but
like I recognize it, but this is like another level.
It's another level of
it's
like
a whole nother level.
It's culture shock. Same. I want to experience culture shock Like when people travel the world and go to a different country,
Right.
you get that shock. I want to experience that in Cyberpunk, and I think we will.
But in Cyberpunk Los Angeles.
Whatever they called it, I think it's like Nightmare City or something.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Nightmare City.
Nightmare City. It just
That's what
makes
you
sense.
wish it was called.
I wish.
All right.
But yeah, the person that was calling out the transgender ad was probably a fucking dumbass and didn't understand what game this is representing, why they put it. And it's something like, until you showed me, like, I didn't even realize that was there. And it was so into the world. I'm like, it feels like you're taking it out of context if you talk about it.
I mean, I don't necessarily feel like anybody should be like ridiculed for asking questions.
No, not
like
not,
I
not
think
that.
you can ask questions.
You can ask questions, but like, don't
and
go in.
like he didn't go off and like just like spread it out. He went straight to the artist.
And I love that, but it's the people that don't, and it's the people that see the basic thing and will take that and run. That's what I'm upset about.
I do like though that they were so open. I mean, even as like she was so able to and openly able to discuss this because they know what they were doing.
They know, and exactly
it
right.
Honestly shows you what CD Projekt Red's world is supposed to be about, and that they're not afraid to really make it a believable world where there is negative things, mega corporations, you know, like a real dystopian world where like if you were to see that in like a world like Dread. You know, remember that movie Dread? Yeah. Like you saw all kinds of weird ads in that world, and like it's just like when you build a world,
it's
like
part
this,
of building a world.
You literally make the people feel immersed in it, and this is what they're about. So
congrats on like taking it to the next level and being like 2 steps ahead of us. Like I didn't even consider that. Like, oh yeah, body modifications. Oh yeah, I guess I will see a lot of people that like, in that stage of like. In between, or the people that want to be a little bit of both. Like, it kind of made me open. Like
it's everything, man. You know, it's like you can modify.
Well, then it made me think
whoever
like,
you want.
Why stop at humans?
Why?
I want to be part reptilian.
I want to be blue.
I want to have cool eyes.
I mean, dude, that happens.
I want to be cold blooded. But yeah, good job, guys.
CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red.
Hey, I'm just saying, like, good job
for having that in there, and then also following up with your reasoning, like your reasoning, not just because like I just felt like it, because there was some articles I read where they're like, I'm a creative director and I want to do what I want, and that's why.
Yeah,
I was like,
we've had that, and it did not pan out
and
well.
Usually,
so good on them for having somebody who could be well spoken enough to explain what was going on. Yeah. So there's a few things that are kind of I'm not glad to hear. So some of the reports from the demo, like the combat.
Okay.
It seemed that people are reporting that it was like a clumsy.
I was say clunky,
just weird.
It
didn't look as smooth as it should.
I had a feeling it was because this is their first person.
Yeah.
I had a feeling it was going to be like that last year when they showed the gun that had auto tracing bullets.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so you really don't have to try in this game. You just got to get the right mods and you could just enjoy it. Like you can sit back, shoot, and just walk on through and enjoy the game. Well,
and then like I guess it's like a bit of a cover, like you kind of go cover to cover, but you're not actually taking cover, and like I don't know, man. Here's the thing. It's a demo, right? And they are supposed to be bringing it out next year. So maybe that's why they're not doing it until April 2020.
And it was a demo, not those special demos where the game's complete, but they put invisible walls. That's the scary demos because you know they can't really do much change.
I mean, so you're saying like it wasn't like a vertical slice? I think it was a vertical slice.
No, yeah, I'm saying it's probably a vertical slice because if it wasn't, that would be more concerning. Because they can't really do much if it's not. If it's just a game that they like, just don't go left or right, just go straight, because you'll see a wall. I don't know. I think I might approach that game differently. I don't think I'm going to approach it as a shooter.
I mean, it's a shooter nonetheless.
I know. I'm going to see if I can play it as a non-shooter.
To be completely honest, if I could deal with the awful aspects of the shooting in Deus Ex, if this game is even a little bit better, I am not going to give a shit. I'm going to love it. So
yeah, I think we've all played a shitty game, a shitty shooter that we put up with.
So if they can match that, I'm good with that.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, you got anything else to say?
Just be nice to Keanu if you see him in person.
And we're out.
Peace.